104.5 The Team, your home for New York Jets football. It's a bit of a rough patch, so we're reaching out to our friend who always has a good opinion on how to fix things, former special teams coach and of the New York Jets, Mike Westoff, with us. Coach, what's happening to this New York Jets team? What's the biggest issue in your eyes?
Oh wow, that's really a tough question. To be honest with you, I did not expect that this would be a good year. I just didn't believe it. In fact, in May on our TV show, I predicted they'd win 6 games. Everybody looked at me like, "Wow, they're going to do better." I said, "Whoa," and now that might have been an exaggeration. I didn't think that they would have a great year. I never expected this to happen. I thought the year would kind of go as it has throughout the course of this year. They were in some close games. They fought hard. There's some ingredients that they don't have, and I think that starts at the quarterback position. But the other night, wow, that was really, really disappointing because they failed in so many areas. I never expected to see this football team, I don't want to use the word quit, but I don't know what other word to use in that game. That Indianapolis Colts team's not a great team. Come on. Mm-hmm. I predicted on my radio show on Sunday that they'd beat the Colts, and I broke down exactly why. I compared all the rankings and statistics and individuals, and Andrew Luck coming off of the most sacked quarterback in the league and a concussion protocol, and the Jets are rushing him early in the game with a 3-man rush in a loose zone against Andrew Luck. Well, he'll throw for 1,000,000 yards. So that was really, really discouraging what they did. And then hopefully they'll get themselves pulled back together a little bit and have a chance to finish the year as they hope to start next year.
Coach, we can defend you too. You came on in the summer and told us it might be a down season for the Jets as well. So you're one of those people who definitely had it way back when. And one of the questions we brought up in the summer was that quarterback position. Did the Jets wait far too long to move Bryce Petty to the starting position, or was there just many other problems with that offense?
That's an interesting point. I believe they waited too long. I think they did. Because even though he had a great year last year, a record-breaking year, I think there were so many circumstances, and we've talked about this before, with Ryan Fitzpatrick, why he did it well last year. And one of those was the fact they played like the 10 worst defenses in the NFL last year. And that's the reality. That's not the case this year. And so that didn't surprise me. I think what it stated, more than anything, with not making the move, it screamed volumes to me that Bryce Petty is really not ready. Whether he didn't pick things up as well as they did or there's some other issues, that's what it screamed to me. Now, what I'd like to see them do, because this kid is a big, strong guy who threw for 5,000 yards at Baylor. Let's figure out what he can do. And as a coach, that's your number one responsibility. Figure out what works for your guys. It doesn't mean what you like to do or what your offense or what you believe. You better figure out what your guys can do, and that's what you have to do. And the fact that that didn't happen with him, I think, fails on a lot of levels.
Mike Westoff with us right here on 104.5 The Team, former special teams coach of the New York Jets. Coach, we had the Yankees this season, and it got to that point where, okay, you're not giving us wins, you got to give us hope. And they bring up Gary Sanchez, and they give us hope. If you look at this Jets team, and you're talking to the Jets fans here in the Cap region, where's the hope? What kind of hope can you see? What can we look to and go, okay, if that's good, we got hope?
Well, I see the biggest hope on this football team is Leonard Williams on defense. This guy's the real deal. And he has played 100 miles an hour every snap. Every single snap. I mean, he's really gone after it. I'm extremely disappointed in Mo Wilkerson. I'm also, to be honest with you, I coached almost every position in the NFL over my career. I was never a defensive coordinator, although I think I could coordinate this defense. That's just my own arrogance, I guess, but that's how I feel. This defense has the personnel to play a completely different look than they're trying to play. I think they're forcing a type of look, and they look totally confused, totally discombobulated, and there's just they have no identity. They just don't. They've got 4 good defensive linemen. They should be in a 4-3. I'd keep those 4 defensive linemen on the field until their mother called me and asked me to take them out. That's the only way I would do it if I were coaching. I'd never let them off the field. And you've got Sheldon Richardson dropping, covering the flat. He played horribly, and now he's in a contract year. I'll tell you what, I'd have a hard time getting him on a big contract the way he's played. We'd really have to have a long conversation about that one. But Leonard Williams, oh my goodness, I think he's been incredible. So there's really no reason you can't get that defense back to where it was. Now, you're going to have to make some secondary adjustments. You have to. Darrelle Revis is not quite the same guy that we know. He's just not. Now, do you change his role? Can he become a free safety? That's an interesting question to me. I'd like to see that explored. And I think there's something that might have some merit there. On offense, you've got to rebuild the offensive line. You don't have a tight end. You're going to get Decker back, and with Marshall, you still have some hope there. Quincy Enunwa is a really good young guy. I think they've got enough running back power, but who's going to pull the trigger, and we don't know that. You've got to find that out.
Coach, who's going to make those decisions, whether it's schematics, is it the GM, is it Todd Bowles, is it the coordinator? Where do these decisions get made?
That's an interesting question. I mean, right now, to be honest with you, right now it sits in Woody Johnson's hands. I mean, he's going to have to make a call. Can this management team do it? Can they do it? Can they make some changes? Frankly, I'd like to see Todd Bowles get an opportunity to fully explore. He won 10 games last year. I'm disappointed he didn't beat Buffalo and get in the playoffs, but he won 10. And I'd like to see him continue with that. I'd change both coordinators if it were me. And I'm not a guy that preaches, hey, let's change coaches. I think that's, sometimes we get guys that pontificate that on the air and really have never been in that position. They didn't even get picked in gym class. That's really disturbing to me that happens. But nonetheless, I'd like to see some changes made and give him that opportunity. But if not, Woody then, if he doesn't really believe in them, then he's got to change the whole thing and let's get started again.
We got Mike Westoff with us here on 104.5 The Team. Now, Coach, I would say it's probably a lot of the guys who were never picked in gym class, but the biggest complaint we're hearing from our listeners is it's one defensive-minded head coach after another. Is it time to change to an offensive philosophy for the Jets? I mean, can Bowles even be a part of that?
That's a valid point. I think you can do it, but you have to get, you've got to get everybody on the same page. You've got to get an offensive coordinator that, and I know Chan did some really good things last year, but again, as I mentioned to you, there were some really extenuating circumstances, and I have not seen any of that this year. I think you've got Bilal Powell and Matt Forte. I want to see them both in the game at the same time. Shift Matt Forte out and see how the defense plays him. If they cover him with a linebacker, he's probably the best back out of the backfield receiver in the NFL. His number of catches is so far below where they should be, it's ridiculous. So I want to see these types of things. If you play them in a nickel package, I'd run the ball all day. But where is this? So, you've got to get this figured out. Develop a young quarterback. Well, how do we develop him? We don't even know. Is Christian Hackenberg going to be the guy? I think he's got a chance, but how do I know that? Bryce Petty? I want to see. I like the way he looks. Ryan Fitzpatrick, I'm sorry, guys, it's not going to happen. There's just not enough in the tank to pull that off. If you want to, how I know I'm right, ask the other 31 teams that never even took a bite at him when he was out there.
Just a good point.
Right.
That's why we love having him on, Coach Mike Westoff, former special teams coach of the Jets. And, Coach, you're everywhere nowadays. Where can we catch you?
Well, I'm in New York now. I live in Florida, but I come up here every week, and I have the radio show on ESPN Sunday morning from 9 to 11, and then I do all the Jets shows with SNY. I do the post game every week, and then during the week, every other week, I do 2 shows with them. So I'm pretty busy. It's a lot of fun for me. But tell you the truth, right now, what I'm having so much fun is I consult for a number of colleges.
Oh, yeah?
My teams, and I've had a ball. It was Penn State, I have them, and Clemson right now. Because Clemson, I just talked to them a long time yesterday and went over some things that we want to do against Ohio State. So this stuff is really fun for me. Let's see, I have LSU, Texas A&M, West Virginia, Notre Dame, Penn State, and Clemson. So I've got some pretty good teams. I had a heck of a year, and now I'm still in it, so I'm having a ball.
You got your fingertips on the college football playoff, the Rose Bowl. You got a lot of great stuff. Yeah,
it's so much fun for me. So, in fact, I'd love to see the New York Jets if Deshaun Watson. I love the kid. And I know he's going to graduate from college in 3.5 years.
Jeez.
Yeah, a lot of people don't know that. This is a smart guy and a great, great football player. And the fact that I've helped them, I don't know if you saw the Ohio State game with Penn State. They blocked the field goal and blocked the punt. Well, I helped. I didn't do it, but I helped. I'm so happy and proud of that, and I'm having a ball with those guys. I really, really respect what they're doing.
Coach, so Deshaun Watson, his skill set will translate to an NFL quarterback?
From what I know, absolutely. I'd take him in a minute.
That's some hope for Jets fans right there. That's because we look at this draft, we don't see a lot of QBs ready to go. If you say he's ready to go, maybe he's the guy for the future.
I know he's going to need some work.
Right.
We all know what a great defense that Alabama has. Did you see what he did to Alabama last year in the championship game?
Oh, yeah.
He threw for a gazillion yards, and he ran. I mean, this is a big, strong guy. Not yet. Does he have everything? No, not yet. But this is a good football player. I mean, I've been able to sit down and talk with them for a little while, and I watched them. I talked to their coaches. I've been to their school. I sat with them and went over a lot of things and put in a lot of things for them. I was very proud. They had that great game against Louisville, and they were down. And Louisville scored, went ahead, and at the end of the fourth quarter, and they run, I think, a 90-yard kickoff return. I got a text from them. The guy, the coach sent to me, said, "Thanks, brother, Jet left." They still call. That's what I put in for them. So you know how that makes me feel. And the fact that I know this guy's going to graduate in 3.5 years, big talented guy like that. Come on, I'll take him on my team any day.
Yeah, Goz just wishes you'd call Syracuse and help them out.
I watched them tear up my orange too many times.
They got to call me. I'll be happy to do it. They just got to call.
Coach Westoff, we love when you make some time for us. We know you're busy all over the place. Great knowledge, as always. Thank you so much.
You're welcome. Thanks for asking, guys. You guys do a good job.